Hi, my name is Ajit Tripathi, and today I'm going to cover an easy way to install OpenWisp using Docker OpenWisp. So we're going to cover the methods of installation of OpenWisp that are available right now. We're going to cover the quick install script. We'll see a running instance, and finally we'll discuss the environment variables available for Docker OpenWisp. So this is the quick install script that we're going to discuss today. I'm going to come back to that. Other than this quick install script, we have the option of using Docker Compose, and you can follow the steps given over here. We also have Kubernetes example written in this repository for bare metal and Google Cloud instances. So if that's what you're looking for, you can find it in the README itself. The official way that we have been using and installing OpenWisp is Ansible OpenWisp. And if you're familiar with Ansible, then this is where you can find it. But today we're going to discuss this quick install script. So to get started, let's first of all download the script. And now just run it. So for installing OpenWisp, you need at least 2 GB of free RAM. It was on 1.5 GB as well, but we would rather recommend and at least 2 GB should be free in your system. Uh, uh, Currently, this script supports only Debian 10 and Ubuntu 18.4. We have plans to support more distros in the future, but currently only these two are supported. Uh, Of course, you need root privileges to use this auto installation script because it installs Docker, Docker Compose, a couple of dependency, and some dependencies to get started with Docker OpenWisp. Finally, we do recommend using a fresh instance because tainted instances might have some port uh, busy that the Docker OpenWisp requires, or something else might not work out with the application. So a fresh instance is recommended. Uh, when Docker OpenWisp is downloaded, it would ask us for a couple of questions. So currently I want to install the latest version, so I'll go with the latest. If you are looking to install a specific version, you register over here and check whatever version you are using. Whenever you're downloading a version, whenever you set up a version, you should check your version so that if in future you need to set up it in another machine, you can use the same version. Currently, I'm just going to go with the latest, so I'll just press enter. The next thing is it asks, do you have an env file? So if you know about the env file, that's awesome. You can simply enter the path to your env file and you're done. But if not, uh, it's going to ask you some more questions, and uh, let's let's go with that route. I'll discuss a little bit more about env file after we're done with the setup. So it's asking me for the dashboard domain. I'm going to give it openwisp dashboard.openwisp.org. So this is the domain where your application would be available on your browser. Then there is a controller domain. This is the domain that your devices would use to interact with the OpenWisp with the server. So this is what you'll set up on your devices, and this is just basically the API. I'm currently fine with the suggested domain, so I'm just going to press enter. Then there is the Radius module. If you want to use Radius module, you can enter the domain for that. Currently, I'm just going to go with no. Same with the topology model. If you don't know about these modules, I would suggest go to the organization page and search for whatever module you are looking for. You can look for the information about controller, Radius, topology, note that there is no module called dashboard, because that's just the front end that's going to be used by OpenWisp or Docker OpenWisp to show you the domain. Whatever module you're interested to know about, you can find more information about it in its README. So let's continue with the setup now. So it's the next thing that it's asking for is an OpenVPN instance. This instance would be helpful if you have some kind of a management instance that you want to set up. I'm just going to, I'd rather go with the default one itself. Default, by default, I mean the suggested one. Okay. So next it's asking for the site manager's email. That would be required for communication. Now it's asking for the Let's Encrypt email. So Let's Encrypt allows us to get free SSL certificates. But to use this service, you would need to provide an email IDs where they contact you when your when your certificates are expiring, etc. In this particular case, even when your certificates are expiring, Docker OpenWisp would automatically fetch new certificates and you don't need to do anything about it. But still, the email is required. If you don't provide an email, you will just go with the self-signed certificates. So currently, self-signed certificates are fine for me. So I'll just go with that. Now it's going to start the service and get OpenWisp running on a machine. Meanwhile, it does that. Let us explore the .env file and its options. So .env file, as we can see over here, it has all the options available to us because first of all, the Docker OpenWisp is written in a very configurable manner. It can be used by a very for someone who has very small fleet of devices, and someone who has very big fleet of devices as well. So it's very customizable. So according to your needs, you can manipulate the .env file. It has a lot of options, and to help you with these options, I have added this .env.md file, which gives an information, some information about all the variables. For example, all of them have a little bit of explanation, the valid values that it's expecting, and the default that we have added. There are these options are divided into a lot of categories, and before you set up this Docker OpenWisp on production, I would recommend you to go through at least the essential and security options. Security options, as the name suggests, allow you to restrict the access to the management site so that not everyone can use it. So meanwhile, the setup is done. So let's check out the OpenWisp instance. The username and password are by default admin, and these are the username and password for your database. Please note it down because you are going to need it when you move your Docker OpenWisp instance to another server, or that you're going to set it up or restart for whatever reason, and the database password, and it asks for your database password and username. So I'm going to just copy this, and so since I did not give it let's encrypt email, it's asking me because of the self-signed certificates. But since I know about the self-signed certificates, I'm just going to go ahead and open the page. It's gonna take a while, as it says over here. It's going to take a while for the services to get started. So I'm just going to wait for a couple of seconds and okay, so let me just refresh it, and the web page is here. So 502, if you see that page, it's not a problem if it goes away in a couple of minutes, because OpenWisp is starting a lot of services in the background, be it database, setting up database and whatnot. There are a lot of things that needs to be done. And now that we have our service up and running, let's just go to change password, and you can set your password over here and continue exploring the software. If you have any questions, please reach out to us on our mailing list or our Gitter channel. Thank you.